Hello, everyone. We'll be starting shortly.
Hey everyone, this is Lance Loken and
Christina Wynn.
we're so excited about this new session that's going to be starting January 15th, and we're calling it Secrets to Listing Domination. And Christina Wynn, for those of you that aren't aware, she is our VP of Listing Agents. She's been with the Loken Group for over 5 years and runs our entire listing department. And why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and where you came from and what you do now?
Okay, so my background is that I have an MBA in marketing, and prior to joining the Loken Group, I wasn't in real estate. I was working at corporate America, and more specifically in the marketing and advertising world. So a lot of my focus is really understanding the client, understanding the specific demographic target market, and utilizing that information and experience that I've had, including the marketing strategy that I've attained through running my own business as well, a side business, and really integrating that into this business and helping take the listing department to the next level.
And I'm Lance Loken with the Loken Group. We started the business in 2011, and in the beginning, it was just Karina and myself. Karina's my wife, and she's actually the one that hired me into the business. And then we began in January 2011, and our first year we did about 8 million and 60 transactions. And this year we will close about 2,350 transactions for approximately 620 million. So in the 8 years that we've been in business, we've grown substantially, and we would love to help you grow your business substantially as well. So far, we've sold 10,000 homes since we started. And so we'd like to pay it forward and show you the path and the secrets on dominating the listing market. So one of the questions that when we were talking about growing this or creating this platform was, how do you know when you have dominated the market? What do you think about that, Christina? How do you know when you've dominated the market?
One of the ways that you can figure out where you are in the market is what's your current market share?
Exactly. And market share doesn't have to be too expansive. It can be whatever you want to focus your niche on. Some people love to own their neighborhood, own their subdivision. Some people like to own a city or a county. Whatever your demographic may be, you need to find out what your market share is in that particular area. So for us, from day one, we wanted to own the entire Houston metropolitan area. That consists of about 6.5 million people, and there's 37,000 agents here in the Houston area. So from day one, we've looked at what the market share is, us versus Houston, and then also how is our competition doing versus Houston, and then how are we doing versus our competition or competitors. And as we've grown the business, we've evolved into, actually, we just checked it today, and we are at 2.73% market share for Houston. That is like really low number. At the same time, you're looking at it in a population of 6.5 million people. Our ultimate goal is to have 15% market share of that Houston metro area. And so yes, it's a big goal. And just to put that into perspective, that's doing 30,000 transactions in a single year. So wouldn't you like to be able to do that? That's our goal, and we're shooting for achieving that in 2036.
Why is it important to dominate the market?
Because when you've dominated the market, you're not worried about competition anymore. You're and the key part about that is 15% market share from a retail perspective means that you've completely dominated that area. For instance, when you look at Starbucks builds a store in a mile radius. They want to have 15% market share of just that mile. And then once they achieve that, then they go to the next mile and so on. And that's why you see so many Starbucks around the area, because they want to dominate a very specific defined area and then grow that. And now there's still waiting lines at every Starbucks that you see. That's domination. So also in the MREA book, when you're getting into the 20, in subdivisions and neighborhoods, people look at having 20% and 25% market share. That is completely dominating your market. When people are going around and saying, who's the number one agent in the area, and your name automatically comes up, that means you're top of mind. That means even without meeting them or knowing them, they're talking about you on your behalf. That's the definition of domination. Next, another question. Do you know how many listings you need in order to net $1 million? That's a question that we get asked all the time. And when you go through this course, you're going to be able to analyze your business from that perspective. The really cool thing is you don't have to take any more than 10 listings a week in order to achieve $1 million in net income. And when we did this study or this exercise, and it comes right out of MREA business planning, when we did this exercise and realized how many new listings you needed on a weekly basis, it was like, man, we can do that, no problem. So that's another question that you want to ask yourself. A third question you want to ask is, how do you grow a business when the market is shifting downward? Christina, we're in a major shift right this second in the Houston area. What have you seen from a market shift standpoint, or what has caused you to think that this is a shifting market right now?
Well, first off, it starts with knowing your numbers. And as you guys are signing up for this series, we're going to be showing you how to track them and to dictate how quickly or slowly or stagnant the market is shifting around you. I'm glad that you asked that question, because how we figure out is looking at the days on market. Then we figure out who has taken their house off the market. Then we realize what's the impact of the iBuyers, such as Open Door and OfferPad and Zillow offers, what's going on with that. In certain areas, there's also purple bricks, from my understanding. And so really understanding what it takes to fight, to get through with the shift and going past with it. So basically, one of the things that we look at is studying the numbers, look at the days on market and what's going on. And as we are realizing that we're finding as we go out to listing consultations, that there's more and more people that are interviewing multiple agents. And there's people that are going for flat fee brokers, and that's our competition as a listing agent. And then that used to not be the case back in 2013 and 14 here in Houston, right?
Right. Well, and the iBuyer is having a major impact on our business. And the really cool thing is Keller Williams has stepped right in with Keller Offers. And so we have that same opportunity to compete against OfferPad and Open Door.
And I'm glad that you asked that as well, because as the market is shifting, we are realizing how important it is to truly be a master of your scripts, to truly be the local economist of the area that you are servicing in terms of real estate. And that leads into the next slide that we're going to show you about the program. It starts with what you're saying at the consultation and how you're saying it, and we really go really heavy with our systems in this program.
Yep. So this program, Secrets of Listing Domination, consists of 8 weekly webinars, and we're going to be targeting listing agents or rainmakers that are still doing listings. And obviously, all calls will be recorded for your streaming purposes, and you'll be able to receive access to these recordings upon sign up. And some of the key points that we're going to go over is scripts and systems, lead generation sources, leverage, seller prequal, creating and executing a powerful listing consultation. And then we're going to show you proven systems for lead follow-up and tracking numbers and conversion rates. We're going to spend a week on each of these different facets, because we know that each of these items is imperative for you to grow a dominating listing service for your clients. One of the big things that we figured out, especially in the beginning, is transactions is great, but it's the experience that resonates with people and will keep them to work with you time and time again. In fact, we heard the phrase past client uh, several times in the real estate industry, and that really didn't have a positive connotation, at least from my perspective, because you spend all this money getting that client to work with you, and then once they sell their house or buy their house with you, we consider them past client. Well, we've changed our mindset here at the Loken Group to call them forever clients, because once you work so hard to get them, you never want to let them go. So we call them our forever clients. So here's another one. What is your goal? What do you intend to accomplish in the next 90 days? This is an 8-week course, so it's technically 8 weeks, but with the holidays and stuff, we tend to usually go about 90 days or so. And so what do you intend to accomplish in the next 90 days? We want to give you step-by-step processes and systems so that you can achieve massive results. And the big thing is, we don't want you to focus on the results right this second. We want you to focus on the activities necessary to achieve those big results. We had a little bit of a hiccup here in the fourth quarter here at the Loken Group, and we needed to adjust our mindset from focusing so much on the results to focusing on doing the activities necessary to achieve the results. And with the market shifting, we like to call it cycling, because you're always cycling in the market, and shift it has a little bit of negative connotation. So we've called it cycling in the market. And in the fourth quarter especially, we were really doing a lot of the activities needed, but the results weren't showing up. Now, recently, the floodgates have opened up, and we're getting executed contracts. We're getting people to close in a relatively short period of time. And it was by changing the processes and the activities that we were doing. The activities that we did in the first and second quarters of this year were not scalable in the third and fourth quarters this year. So we really had to change things up there. What may be holding you back from building a big business? Are you the lid in your business? What I mean by that is, are you the person that's making all the decisions? Are you the person that's running the listing area? Or are you doing it from a collaborative standpoint? Meaning, do you express challenges to everybody in your organization, or do you discuss challenges that you're having with people and having conversations about them on how you can overcome those challenges? Or are you the one that has all the answers? And we have found that by asking questions and asking the right questions, that it's had a much bigger impact on our business, because when you're the one answering all the questions and being the smartest person in the room, that's your ceiling. Number 3, what tools do you need in your tool belt to break through your limiting beliefs?
And I'm glad that we're talking about this, because it's really all about mindset as well. Our goal here is, for this next session of Secrets to Listing Domination, is the activities will need to change. What you're doing today and right now is going to need to either intensify exponentially, or you're going to change some of the systems and processes so that you add efficiency to your business, giving you back more time into your life and allowing you more opportunities to really aspire for that big business. And the next thing we're going to talk about, what's your mindset working around with sellers? And as you guys already know, Diana Kokoska is really big about that. It truly is about your mindset. Are you prepared to take your business to the next level? What is that going to look like? Who do you need to become? It's all about being so that you can start doing, and therefore having that big business that you're shooting for. And also, how many listing units will you add to your business in the year that you're working on? We'll be focusing on either whether it's 2019 or whether it's 2020, and what will your action plan be to accomplish the goal?
And what we're going to do is, we're going to lay out a path and an exercise that'll show you how many listing units you need on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis in order to achieve your year-end goal. And one of the big things that we've done is, instead of focusing on the yearly goal, we've brought it all the way down to the monthly goal and the quarterly goals so that we can focus on achieving big results from that perspective. Next is setting up your sellers for success. Lead generate for listings. One of the big things you need to really focus on, and it's not just lead generating for listings, you need to be lead generating for talent at the exact same time, or have time blocked for lead generating for talent, because the way that you grow your business is by leveraging off things off of your plate. And we'll be discussing and going into detail about what items you can leverage off of your plate. And then the biggest part about that is you need to replace it with income producing activities, and make sure that you set yourself up for extended success, not just short-term success.
And we're going to share the different ways that has worked for us. We started off with just Lance being the listing agent. His wife Karina was the inside sales agent, the ISA. And so we're going to walk through what Lance likes to say is crawl first, then walk, then run. So we're going to take you guys to those three different levels on, for example, if you have never started your own business, you're new to the real estate industry, in the real estate world, to you have a few you have a couple listings and buyer clients, and you've got a transaction coordinator, to where you already have a team and you're ready to take it to the next level. We're going to be encompassing all different avenues and making sure that we go over what goes well, what systems would help, whether you're starting off, continue to grow, or taking it to the next level.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to do that every single week based off of each of the subjects that we have conversations about. The other huge piece, and hopefully it's beneficial to you guys, we're going to be bringing in experts from every department in our organization. So when we're talking about scripts and role playing, we're going to have our inside sales agents pre-qualifying people from their perspective and digging deep on all the questions that they ask. And we'll discuss different systems and processes that have worked for us, what has not worked for us, and what we're exploring right this second. One of the big things that we've started to experiment with is at your service. Do you want to talk about at your service and what that means?
Absolutely. This ties into the shifting market. Usually what happens here, and just to back up a little bit to share with you guys, we're going to be sharing with you a lot of the experiences that we have. Because here, what Lance mentioned, we helped to serve over 10,000 families for the past 8 years we've been in existence. And it always hasn't been sunshine, daisies, and rainbows. We've gotten here with a lot of mistakes that we've made, a lot of lessons that we learned, and a lot of action plans that we've implemented moving forward and pivoting our business. And so we just want to share these nuggets that's worked for us, and hopefully that'll work for you guys. I'm glad you're sharing and going back to the at your service, because as our market has been shifting, we're realizing that a lot of the sellers are wanting to meet with our agents as soon as possible. It is about the lead to speed. And a lot of times, with especially how our system was currently process, is that our listing agents' calendars will be booked up about 3 to 4 days out. And so when our inside sales agents is calling an expired or terminated or for sale by owner, and that person has already been interviewing multiple agents, is ready to make a decision within the next 24 to 48 hours, we missed out on that lead because we didn't have anyone available same day or next day. And so with At Your Service, we've created blocks in our schedule where each day we had a dedicated listing agent on call for immediate to last minute appointments in person or phone. And it's been a huge game changer for our business. And we wouldn't have noticed that would have been impacting our business in a positive way without taking the time to reflect on our business, taking the time to observe our numbers, and really figuring out how to stay solution-based and asking us the questions every day: what's going well, what could be better and or different, and how can we take this in business and help it move it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key part about that was we listened to our clients. Our clients were telling us that they just wanted to get in touch with us immediately. And that is technology today. Technology today is dictating that our clients want to see people immediately because, especially on the expired side, they want to get it addressed and get it right back on the market. The whole way that this came about was we had people calling in to view homes from a buyer perspective. And our buyer agents, like Christina was saying, we're booked, 3, 4, 5 days in advance. And so we were forced to create this at your service mechanism for the buy side. And it's taken a couple of months, but it has grown to work out so incredibly well that now we have buyer agents that are clamoring to get into the at your service conversations and appointments because they see that once they get in front of the client wants to work with them. So we're having, like last week alone, we executed 6 contracts just from the at your service mechanism.
So the reason why we're going down this rabbit hole and going and explaining about at your service, guys, is because as we go through the different lead sources for your business in terms of listings, we'll be going through expireds for sale by owners, terminated, how to talk to your sphere of influence, client referrals, agent referrals, door knocking. It's also important to know what to do with those leads. And also as you're growing your business to really take note of what's happening in your business and how do you tailor and customize your own business to best serve your clients.
Yep. The second part is lead capture and follow-up. You need to be ready, willing, able seller leads should be set up for a listing consultation appointment. And then all other leads should be entered into your CRM and added to a touch campaign, a follow-up, and follow the campaign. So we're going to have experts coming in from our marketing department as well and discuss with you best practices from an SEO perspective, from a campaign perspective. We want to provide you with all the tools that will embrace your business and take it to the next level.
I'm glad you shared that because notice the terminology that we're using here: lead capture and lead follow-up, guys. This is where a lot of businesses lose millions and millions of marketing dollars down the drain because someone will receive through the marketing efforts of a listing agent or a listing team, and they call in and the ISA or whoever answered the call would talk to them and have that initial consultation. Then that lead tends to disappear, and without the follow-up, nothing comes of that. That's basically marketing dollars going down the drain. And there's Greg Harrelson. He's a well-known real estate agent in the Myrtle Beach area, and he didn't realize that his business was losing millions of dollars of not following up to have the lead capture, which is where you go back and there's an action item and an actual conversation had with that lead that initially contacted you. The reason why we're digging deep into this is we realized that a couple of years back, our data bank was really messy, wasn't it, Lance?
Yeah, very.
Things were tagged incorrectly. We were losing business. We spent so much money on the CRM program that we had, and it wasn't being effective. We're here to show you the different tools and tailoring it to the different CRMs that you may have that we've had experience with, and sharing with you how can you maximize your current data bank.
Yep. Next is seller pre-qualification. Goal is to set a listing consultation. That we'll go through all the different questions that the inside sales agents are asking the client before we send a listing agent out to the consultation. And then we'll also discuss our best practices during the consultation. You need to be the local economist of choice, know your market, and handle objections.
The next is my favorite: how to set your sellers up for success. It all starts with the listing consultation. Do you have an ironclad listing presentation? How do you know that it's a yes when you're there? Is the rapport there? Have you ever left a listing consultation with a no? What would it look like when you have a yes for every single listing appointment you go on? This is exactly what we're going to be digging very deep and sharing with you guys what has worked really well for us, and sharing with you that showing you a path on how you can also create the same system, the same listing presentation that is going to set you up for success. Then we'll go over what happens during contract to close with the transaction coordinator, leveraging your allied sources. Then we're getting to the next step, which is closing and post-closing. Going to your closing, getting that testimonial, and earning that referral that you deserve since day one, because you serve your clients so well and they are so happy and proud of what you've done. And we'll also be talking about the promise that we've implemented, which has truly been a game changer for us in getting repeat referral business, not only from other agents and also our forever clients.
All right, and then my favorite part of the entire session is tracking your numbers. This has been so key for our business. We have to look at our numbers daily. In fact, we have to look at them hourly because of the amount of business that we're doing today. You may need to look at them weekly. I would suggest not to look at them any less than weekly. In fact, I would get into the practice of looking at your numbers daily right from the get-go. It may be slow in the beginning, and for me at least, it created that sense of urgency. I wanted to see more and more and more activity, and that drove me to get us to next. What is important about tracking numbers consistently? So one of the things that we look at, and it shows what does a listing agent track: number of leads, appointments set, appointments kept, agreements signed, pendings, closings, GCI, and we also track terminations, because we want to make sure that we know our fallout rate. And so we track each of those buckets, and we have KPIs now set up, which are key performance indicators, to show us where we're lacking on. We have found several gaps in our business by tracking each of these lines on a regular basis. Appointments kept to agreement signed has been a major focus of ours. When we started looking at the numbers, we were right around 45%. We've increased that now to over 60%, and our goal is to achieve 70%. That's our ultimate goal. And then once we achieve 70%, we'll want 75%. You know how it goes. But right now we're focused on getting it up to 70%. The other piece we noticed a gap in our business is, once we got the agreement signed, how long it was taking for us to get the listing activated on the market. We saw that it was close to 50 days. And so now that we've got our KPI set up to track that piece of the business, we've brought it already down to 37 days, and our goal is to get it under 30 days. But we wouldn't know that if we didn't track our business.
Exactly. And it's so important to know your numbers. We also would encourage you, when you guys join us on January 15th of next year, that you have your numbers ready. Really look into your business and figure out the number of leads you're getting, how many appointments are getting set, capped, agreement signed, fallout, pendings, closings, all of that. And so we just want to make sure that we're going to jumpstart you guys with a really strong foot and moving forward as quickly as possible. And so when we start rocking and rolling come a couple of weeks from now, that you already have your numbers ready and you're not scrambling for it. We're going to be really focusing on that and getting you guys set up for success for the next steps.
So hopefully you've seen just a taste of what we're going to go through in the 8-week session that we'll be providing you with. And again, it's secrets to listing domination. So all you have to do is go to mapscoaching.com/group and just look for the domination listings, and then click on sign up. So again, it's secrets to listing domination, and go to mapscoaching.com and /group and click on the sign up. And again, we're going to start on January 15th at 2 p.m. Central Time. Looking forward to seeing all of you, and hopefully we'll get to go through the 8 weeks together. Looking forward to it. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, guys.